Chelsea, what's the feeling like this week? Nerves, excitement, a mixture?
Yeah, a whole lot of excitement. We're really excited to be back at Eden Park and really excited to have the opportunity to play the semi-finals. And yeah, we've just been training really hard this week as we have been.
When you think of France, what do you think of?
We've been talking about kind of the fast game that they play, and we know that we can definitely match it, and we've got the players and the game plan to match it. So we just need to execute.
Where do you think this team is now compared to where it was 4 weeks ago at the start of this tournament? And what's changed for you?
Yeah, we've definitely grown, and I think dealing with pressure and obviously the big crowds that we've had, that's becoming more of a norm for us. It's not as much of an external pressure anymore. It's I think everyone's also got a bit more caps under the belt as well, because especially in our forward pack being relatively new, it's been awesome having different combinations and getting some game time.
What was the trip down from Ruahei like on Monday?
There was a lot of sleeping. It was cool though, just a morning off to refresh and get ready to hit the week running.
And then you checked in here Monday night. Was that feeling 2 weeks to go, it's all business from here till next Saturday?
Yeah, there's definitely a serious kind of feel in the mix, as there has been the whole time, but this is crunch time now and everyone's really excited to get into it.
Ruahei mentioned last week that there's been a bit of friction in the team in a competitive sense, competitive edge. Do you see that, and has that intensified this week?
I think the girls that aren't named each week definitely put a huge amount of pressure on us, and that is what makes us better. I think that's one of our weapons, is having such a strong 32 players, and any of us girls could be in the starting lineup. So it's definitely competitive, but we channel that really positively.
What are some of the things that you guys need to do, get right, work on this week to make the final?
Just working on in the forwards our physicality up front, and just making those little finishing touches, I guess. Yeah. Do
you draw on or sort of get advice from the guys that were there last year playing against France and what that was like? I mean, do you draw from the losses there? They've beaten you the last 4 times. Do you draw from any of that?
We haven't talked about that too much. We've talked, obviously, there has been 4 previous losses, but we're seeing this as a really positive opportunity. Completely new team, completely new coaching team. We're not looking back last year, we're just looking forward.
How do you think the team has sort of evolved and grown and changed since last time you guys played France? Like you said, lots of new coaches and players. So how have you seen the team grow from strength to strength?
I wasn't on end of year tour, so I'm not 100% sure kind of how that was run over there, but I know that us girls were all focusing on ourselves, and we've been working heaps on our our high tempo game and our physicality as well. So hopefully when it comes to the mauls and the scrums, we can be really dominant in that, and then the backs just working on kind of nailing their roles out wide as well.
And for you personally, since you weren't part of that squad, do you look back at those past results and worry about that, or like you said before, do you look forward to what you can do and make that change? Yeah, definitely looking forward to it, and really excited to be able to have an opportunity to play France. They're a really strong side, as they showed last year and as they've shown so far in World Cup. But for me, I just can't wait to play along with our group of girls that we've got this year, and see what we can do. And there are lots of new players in the squad. Over the past few weeks, do you feel like there's been more of a gel and more of a connection as you get to know each other on and off the field a bit better?
Yeah, 100%. The more time we spend together, the more we gel, and working on new combinations and new moves, and definitely the more time we spend together off the field as well helps us together on the field.
Whitney had a big smile on her face on Sunday morning when we were talking about the set piece.
Yeah.
Being a part of that, the change from, I guess, the pool matches to the weekend. I mean, what was the change there? And, you must be pretty proud of the performance you put in that area in the set piece.
Yeah, I think it was a big mental switch as well for us. We knew we had a job to do, and the quarterfinal we treated it just like a final. It was our route to make the semis. So we gave it absolutely everything, and absolutely no complacency on our end. We definitely did all the training and put in the hard work during the week, so that when we got on that field, we knew we could give it everything.
Do you feel like you have to step up one more time? Well, hopefully 2 more times, but at least one more time this weekend?
Yeah, 100%. We're definitely getting ready for a massive battle up front and doing all that we can.
Hi Chelsea, Sarah here from the BBC. Good to meet you. I was just wondering, you've got a lot of credit in the bank personally when it comes to helping reform the Black Ferns line-out. How much pressure are you expecting to be under from France this weekend?
Yeah, they've definitely got a huge amount of athletes in their forward pack, and yeah, they definitely put the pressure on at line-out time on both attack and defence. So yeah, we're just focusing on ourselves and looking to nail our attacking line-out and you just get up on defence.
And on that, who in the French pack has particularly impressed you, or have you been looking at so far?
We've just been looking at them kind of as a whole, more focusing on ourselves and what we can do in our system. So yeah, we haven't been focusing too much on the opposition as of yet.
How much time are you expecting to spend in a training, practicing defending or driving more?
That's something we've been working on this whole year, knowing, you know, from end of year tour last year that those European teams like to do that. So it has been an ongoing thing that we've been working on and doing lots of hard work at training on.
And just lastly, who's been sort of helping you all relax this week? What's going to help you all switch off from such a big game this weekend?
I think the time that we do get off, we really just will make sure that we switch off and chill, and it's awesome. Lots of girls have whānau up here as well, so just seeing them and things will help to clear the head.
Have you got quite a lot of family around?
Yeah, I've got a few cousins here, so that will be awesome to see them, and yeah, whānau's coming up for the game.
Chelsea, you're obviously back at Eden Park this weekend. How have you been able to harness this kind of home support, which is potentially your greatest weapon at this tournament?
Yeah, we've been overwhelmed by the amount of support that we've had. All of the stadiums we've played at, we've just been, you know, absolutely overwhelmed by the amount of supporters that we have, and I think everyone's seeing it as a really, really positive thing. As I said earlier, we're kind of not seeing it as pressure, we're taking it on the chin and using it as our weapon.
And you just said there you're working on your physicality. How does that translate in training? How do you work on physicality?
We do full contact kind of scenarios, and the girls that aren't playing put a huge amount of pressure on us, and it's just really being intense in the moments that we need to be.
How many points from start do you think a big crowd in Eden Park is going to give you for these big knockout games coming up? I don't know. I mean, it must be a massive help.
Yeah, it definitely is. Hearing the sound, hearing all the noise that they made in our first game, that was incredible, and I know that for us that really builds us up. So I hope that that will help to build us up.
Is it a little bit different playing there? I mean, you know, as a player to anywhere else if you're a Kiwi? You know?
Yeah. For me, anywhere that we play is special, and any of the crowds we've had up in Whangarei, it was amazing having most of Northland up there at the games. But yeah, Eden Park, definitely, it's kind of, you know, a massive stadium and really special for us to be able to play there.
Ruahei, you were there last year against France. I guess, what have you taken from that leading into now? And I guess, you know, in between then and now, what's changed in this Black Ferns side?
I don't even know where to start because so much has changed. We are a completely different team. Our attack and defensive philosophies are completely different. I think there's not much that we can actually take away from when we played them last year. But what we do know is that, you know, they're a really quality side. They defend with heart, and the game plan that we've designed to combat them this weekend will be very exciting brand of rugby to watch, and yeah.
The intensity, the focus, has it intensified from, I guess, playing in a quarterfinal now to preparing for a semi-final?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what this business end of the tournament's all about, you know. Every game's do or die, every game's a final. So for us, if we don't get this week right, there's no next week.
Speaking about getting the week right, what do you need to do to hopefully be playing in that final next week?
There's not much else you can do, you know. Like, all the hard work has already been done. For us, it's just about making sure that we nail our preparation. So today is a really important day for us, and again on Thursday, making sure that we demand what we need individually from each other, and yeah, if individually we can nail our core roles, then we'll be sweet come Saturday.
Do you see yourselves as underdogs coming into this? Do you look at it like that?
In terms of the results,
Past
every time
results.
we've played France, yes, we are the underdogs. But it's a World Cup and it's a semi-final, you know, it's anyone's game.
Ruahei, I get the sense maybe that underdogs term isn't one you're comfortable sort of claiming. Would that be fair to say?
Pardon? Sorry, what was that?
That underdog term, it sort of seemed like it wasn't a tag you were too eager to claim. Does that sort of just go against the mindset you have of wanting to dominate?
Yeah, obviously, like, it's a World Cup, you know. I guess if you kind of think if you were in the position that my team's in right now, how would you feel if this was your last game, potentially? Would you think that you were an underdog as well?
I probably would.
Exactly.
When you look at this week, though, with all due respect to the teams you've played so far this year, it feels like there's probably a bit more uncertainty around the outcome of Saturday's match. Is that something you relish? You know, the fact that this is a very good team you're coming up against?
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't say that there was uncertainty in the games that we played in the past, though, with all due respect to the other teams. We were a very new side, and the structures and courage that, you know, our team showed this year, we didn't know if it was going to come off or not. And every opposition that we faced, we still have treated them with the respect that they deserve. And that's exactly the same this weekend with France. They present different opportunities, different to the teams we've played though. So yeah, we'll be looking to do a few things differently to try and combat that.
From day one with Wayne Smith, when he came in way back at the start of the year, you know, obviously the team had a bad results, there'd been a lot of upheaval. When you think back to then and where you are now, are you where you hoped you would be in terms of being ready to win a semi-final and win a final?
Yeah, you can't really compare the first training that we had with Smithy to now. Even after this morning's training, you know, the quality of some of the drills that we were doing, the accuracy that we were executing them at, was probably the best we've ever been. And that's exactly what you want at, you know, this week. So yeah, you can't compare where the team was at the start of the year to now.
Do you think the way that you've been playing so far in this World Cup has sent a warning to France that, you know, we aren't like we were when you last played us?
Absolutely. We're not like any other team either.
And how has the team, you sort of touched on it before, but how do you think the team has evolved within the last, I guess, since the start of this World Cup?
That's a really good question. I think we've evolved in so many ways, but probably the biggest way that we've evolved is the mindset that we have when we have ball in hand. It doesn't matter what part of the field that we're on, whether or not we've absorbed a lot of defence. We want to try and get 7 points, get 5 points out of any opportunity that we get. And to do that, it takes courage. Not every team does that, you know. I think it's quite easy to get into quite a traditional mindset of you need territory, you need possession to win a game of footy, and you do, but not all the time. You know, you just need the ball. That's it.
Is it quite nice having some girls on this team who haven't played France before, so they've come in, they're fresh, they're not worried about past results, and they sort of bring a new energy, I guess?
Yeah, but I guess even more than that, it's even more, what's the word? It's even better having coaches like Smithy, like Ted, like Chrono, who haven't played, you know, the girls, but have played France. And the French style is a French style. And so our coaches are looking at the game with fresh eyes. But that hunger and desire to make sure that, you know, come full time, we're getting through to the final, it's still there and it's led right from the top.
Do you think the French should be worried?
I think they should be worried.
You were hinting at an exciting game plan to counteract the famous French defence, and obviously that's the way you guys like to play and you have here. Are you sort of hinting that you might ramp it up even more in terms of that all-out attack?
I don't know if we'll ramp it up even more, like probably will do because it's a semi-final, you know, like the way I play, if I lose, I want to make sure that I've done everything that I can. And I know that that's the way my teammates play and that's the way we all play for each other. But yeah, it's going to be exciting. It'll be similar to what everyone's seen.
Hi, Ruahei, Sarah here from the BBC. Obviously, Kennedy Simon back in the 23 last weekend. Tell us a little bit about what it's like for you having her back in there and how you two work as a co-captaincy.
Yeah, it was really difficult for me not having Kenny on the field through the early part of the tournament. Being co-captain, it's such a privilege for both of us to be able to share that responsibility and share the load. And for me, as a captain on field, it's quite difficult to, you know, I guess, build a relationship with the ref when you're not really in it. So having Kenny's presence back, even around like breakdown and stuff, is so helpful to me. But she's a person who doesn't say much but leads through her actions, and mainly through her shoulders. So to have her physical presence on the field, it uplifts the team, and she doesn't need to say much. She just does what she does, and the girls follow.
Tell us a little bit how you two operate in and around the squad. Who's good cop, bad cop?
No, we don't do that. Girls are self-sufficient. They can sort themselves out. Just, make sure that we're on at training, on at games. That's it.
And when it comes to the French, perhaps not a shot at redemption, as you said, you've changed so much, but are you really hoping to show what the Black Ferns are about come Saturday?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Smithy said yesterday we've lost the last 4 games on the trot to them. I wouldn't say like the game, like there's more on the line. Just the occasion itself shows you how much the game's going to mean to us, and we know that they're a quality side, and we can't take them lightly. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah. Thank you.
Ruahei, it feels like you've really made the number 10 shirt your own throughout the duration of this tournament. What's allowed you to thrive personally?
Just having the trust of my teammates and the trust of my coaches. I think it allows anyone, I guess, to play freely. Also, it's really easy to play when your pack's going forward. But yeah, I guess.
And what's been your favourite part of captaining this side, and what's your kind of favourite moment of each week?
Oh, that's a good question. I think the girls make captaining this team so easy, because everyone is always willing to give their best, regardless of whether they're starting, they're on the bench, or whether they haven't made the team. And so as a captain, it makes my job so much easier. The girls are always willing to go out of their way to do whatever they can to make sure that the person in their position, or to help the person in their position. It's really hard for me to put a finger on probably my favourite moment so far, because there's been so many. But I'm really proud of the way that, as a team, especially a lot of the players that were here pre this year, the way that we've been able to adjust our mindset, because it's quite hard, when you're quite set in your ways to play a certain way. So to be able to come in and adapt and evolve, I'm really proud of our team.
Is there anything the coaching staff have done to help with that shift in mindset, like any sort of...
Yeah, they have really high standards, and they don't accept anything less. So if you're not executing that, then you're probably not going to be in. It's pretty easy. Just do it.
You mentioned last week the friction within the team in a competitive sense. Is that ramped up more this week?
Yeah. Yes and no, I guess. Like that competitive edge is always there. But then again, once selections are made, it takes all 32 of us to get the team across. And that's exactly how last weekend felt with our quarterfinal. Our Thursday training is our big day, and if Thursday wasn't as hard as it was, we probably wouldn't have got the result that we did on Saturday, and it'll be the same again this week.
The Welsh captain's tipping you guys to go all the way, beat France, beat England. They've played you twice. Does it feel good to sort of be rated like that by one of your opponents?
Yeah, obviously. I didn't even know that. Yeah, that's cool. That's quite nice.